Hello everyone. This video goes through the story of Assassin's Creed Syndicate. In 1868, at the tail end of the Industrial Revolution, the Assassin Brotherhood in London has fallen, leaving the city at the mercy of Templar Grandmaster Crawford Starrick, a powerful figure in London's industry and its criminal underworld. Starrick plots to use his wealth and influence to increase the Templars' political power within Britain, and through its holdings, the world, effectively making the British Empire an arm of Templar order. Outside of London, Jacob and Evie Fry are twins and raised as assassins to follow the Creed. They aim to take back London from Templar control and begin their work in Crawley, with Jacob assassinating a corrupt factory boss, Rupert Ferris. At the same time, Evie infiltrates a lab owned and run by David Brewster and a Templar occultist Lucy Thorne. Inside, Evie finds Brewster experimenting on a piece of Eden and assassinates him. Brewster tells Evie that Starrick knows of a second, more powerful piece of Eden, when the first one becomes unstable and explodes, forcing Evie to flee. With their mission successful, the Fried Twin decide to disobey orders from a Brotherhood and head for London. The Fried Twins arrive in London and meet with Henry Green, the son of an Indian assassin, who reveals himself as an old acquaintance of their father. They have different ideas on how to liberate London. Jacob advocates that they make a fight straight to Templars, while Evie advises they find a piece of Eden first. They agree to begin liberating various boroughs of London by defeating Templar-controlled gangs, sabotaging Templar-controlled businesses, assassinating high-ranking Templars, and building up their own criminal gang called Rooks. Along the way, they enlist the help of various people including Charles Dickens, Alexander Graham Bell, and Florence Nightingale. Jacob decides to investigate the mysterious and addictive soothing syrup that Starrick has been distributing all across London and is slowly poisoning the populace. He meets Charles Darwin, who is also investigating the syrup. Together, they destroy the factory producing the syrup and interrogate Richard Owen, the factory owner. Owen informs them that John Elliotson has been manufacturing the syrup. Jacob and Darwin head to Lambert's asylum, where Elliotson is performing medical lecture. Jacob sneaks in and assassinates him, totally destroying the syrup industry of Starrick. Meanwhile, Evie looks for the piece of Eden, managing to steal an assassin journal from Thorne. Analyzing the journal, Evie discovers that it refers to the Shroud of Eden, a piece of Eden that can heal any injury, including old age, and makes the wearer immortal. She follows the trail of clues underneath the mansion of Edward Kenway, where she finds a map detailing the location of all of the assassin vaults hidden in London, and escapes there before getting caught by Thorne. Her search leads her to famous landmarks, the Monument to the Great Fire of London, and the St. Paul's Cathedral. She solves the puzzle on the rooftop of St. Paul's Cathedral, which enables her to enter the secret vault. However, when she obtains a necklace which contains the key to the Shroud of Eden, Thorne suddenly appears and attacks her, reclaiming the key for Templar. Though Evie defeats Thorne with her superior technique, Thorne breaks the window while holding Evie by the necklace, which leads her to disappear with the key. Jacob meets an entrepreneur, Miss Pearl Atway, one of Starrick's competitors in the bus business. Jacob decides to assist her by infiltrating a transporting train and stealing Starrick's internal combustion engines on board. He then sabotages the contraband used for Starrick's bus company and assassinates its boss, Malcolm Milner. However, upon death, Milner warns Jacob that Starrick and Attaway are cousins, and Attaway is a Templar. In order to make sure, Jacob tells Attaway to her hideout and overhears her conversation with Starrick, which reveals that she's actually using assassins to help Templar. In response, Jacob sneaks into Waterloo train station and assassinates Attaway in her wagon. Then he escapes there with the train. Attaway's death greatly angers Starrick, and he urges to put the murderer on justice. Thorne, however, proposes vengeance on Fried Twins. Evie finds some clues from the journal, which leads her to the Tower of London. Before she gets there, Thorne and her men have already infiltrated the tower. Evie cooperates with the royal guards, pretends herself captured and assassinates Thorn when she is brought to her. Thorn explains the Shroud is not in tower, and claims that assassins have no idea of true power of Shroud before dying. When Starrick learns of Thorn's death and a key is missing, he is enraged again. Green believes the real vault is hidden in Buckingham Palace and enlists the aid of Maharaja Singh to find schematics of building. Unfortunately, the Templars manage to seize it first. Through Surgeon Eberline, Jacob learns of Starrick's assistant, a Templar banker, Philip Tuppenny, is plotting to rob the Bank of England and steal its gold reserve. Jacob tells the Templars weaponry transportation, and with Eberline's help, Jacob breaks into the bank and assassinates Tuppenny, who reveals his true purpose to be investing for the city. Waiting outside, Eberline exposes the robbery plot to the public. Jacob then hears of a Templar plot to assassinate British Prime Minister Benjamin Disraeli, who is pushing to pass the Corrupt Practices Act. Jacob tackles a suspicious man when he is tailing the Prime Minister, but he is immediately shot by a sniper. By catching and intimidating the sniper, Jacob learns of the appearance of their mastermind, a man with mustache and a military uniform. After protecting the Prime Minister and his wife from attack at 10 Downing Street, Jacob learns from Mrs. Disraeli that the man with the appearance is Earl Cardigan. Then he infiltrates the Parliament, enters the Cardigan's office with an obtained password, and assassinates him inside. Jacob then receives a letter from Maxwell Roth, the leader of the Templar-controlled gang, the Blighters. When Jacob meets him, Roth offers to betray the Templars and form an alliance with Rooks, which Jacob accepts. After assisting Roth in several missions against Starrick, Jacob tries to stop Roth when he plans to bomb a building full of child laborers. After Jacob forces in and saves the children inside, Roth breaks alliance with him and threatens him with death. Jacob infiltrates Roth's headquarters at Alhambra Theatre, finding that he has lured London citizens there and attempts to burn them all to death. Jacob stops this tragedy by assassinating Roth. With all of his lieutenants dead, Starrick moves to retrieve the Shroud personally. Jacob and Evie get into an argument over their different goal when Henry warns the Fright Twins that Starrick plans to break into Buckingham Palace, steal the Shroud, and kill all of Britain's heads of church and state. The Fright Twins agree to work together to stop Starrick. Before Jacob steals 2 invitations to the ball, and Evie learns of the whereabouts of a copy of schematic of Buckingham Palace from Maharaja Singh. The twin infiltrates the ball, with Evie sneaking into Queen's office to steal the schematic, and Jacob recovering their weapons from Eberline. Evie is caught by Starrick and forced to dance with him, as his snipers are watching over from the rooftop. When Jacob eliminates all the snipers and signals Evie, Evie subdues Starrick, but lets him escape with the key. Starrick beats them to the vault and obtains the Shroud for himself, which grants him superhuman strength and regeneration from wounds. Working together, the Fright Twins and Green manage to defeat and kill Starrick. After the battle, Jacob and Evie return the Shroud to the vault, and they are knighted by Queen Victoria in recognition of their deeds.